Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. How are you all doing today? Happy Sunday. Let me know in the chat where you're joining in from. Can you all hear me? I'm not so sure. Hello. We had three watchers, now we have none. But that won't stop us, right? You have to believe in yourself and keep the journey moving. So, I'll start by first introducing myself. I'm sure you all, some of you know me, some don't. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Inda Bongo-Awah. I am a cloud platform engineer in a company in Germany called Bedrock, Germany. Previously, I was at RTL Technologies as a DevOps engineer. I am a mother, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of Mentorship Matters Africa, an organization that it has been in me for some years, but went live last year during the Women's Day, International Women's Day celebration. I'd like to know from you, who are you? Who are you joining in from? Why are you inquisitive to be here? Let's have a conversation. It's really going to be nice if we're having a conversation. But again, I know some of you might join in later on or watch later on. But it's nice to be here. This is my first live session. I have been having other shorts or presentations on who I am, what I do, and how I got here. Because as all you know, everyone has a story, right? Some of you know me from LinkedIn as a cloud platform engineer and a board member of Cloud Heroes Africa, also the founder of Mentorship Matters Africa, or you know me just mainly as a common connection on LinkedIn. I'm here today to tell you all how I started my journey in tech from a non-tech background. It's not strange that many people nowadays switch to tech at some point in their careers. So before we had the notion that to be in tech, you must have learned computer science or have some mathematical background because tech is something very complicated. You have to constantly be coding, you have to be up at midnight, constantly learning, having a very weird screen with just zeros and ones. That's a myth that has been or is continuously being debugged in the last couple of years. So, when did I get into tech and why did I get into tech? I need to take you all back when I first, my educational background. I have a bachelor's degree in banking and finance from the University of Boya in Cameroon. Later on in 2007, I traveled to Germany, got married, had kids, and decided to go back to school. Being in Germany, there are so many hindrances that you encounter. Leaving a country where you spoke English and French and pidgin English to move to a completely new country where it's better now. It's really better now and more structured and more welcoming. Previously, you either spoke German or you suffered in silence, all right? And I was one of those that I was suffering in silence, but decided to pick up the slack, to understand, to have a conversation at an educational level, not be speaking to someone needing a tall at every point, or talking with your hands, because that's how frustrating it was. Sometime in 2000, yeah, 7, because I went to German language school. I studied the language and I had my B1. B1 is the integration level. Later on, I wanted to study, I wanted to go to school because I did not see myself settling in and just doing mini jobs. Many jobs are good. Many jobs are saviors. Many jobs help you to make ends meet. But a mini job is not or should not be the end goal. Well, it can be the end goal for somebody, but for me, it wasn't the end goal, and I didn't get to do that. So I went back to the university. I did one complete semester of German language at the University of Cologne, and I qualified to study in German. Again, being qualified to study in German means that okay, you need to get your certifications evaluated and everything. I did that. I had a bunch of rejections because I wanted something that is also equivalent to my bachelor's, right, to build upon it. I ended up studying at Fern Universiteit in Hagen. It's a university that permitted me to be a mom and also to be a student. Because I bet you, having 3 children in between the ages of 5 and 2 is not really a walk in the park. You see that you are constantly on the run, you're constantly doing something, you're constantly behind time. So I studied banking, and no, sorry, I studied economics. That is Wirtschaftswissenschaften. Is the German word for economics, very complicated, right? And it took me 4 years to finish my master's degree. It was really challenging because I had like books this thick, 500 pages of pamphlets that I needed to learn. And that was just mathematics and statistics, right? I was smart in the sense that I wanted to do a course that had less to do with words, but more with numbers. I know numbers are international, so there can be a number that's written in the German language. So I did economics, I did business economics, and I did international management. Those are my first 3 courses. It was so challenging. I found myself constantly having a dictionary. We would never had Chat GPT or the international way now. We did not have that. Then in 2015 to 2014 to 18, those 4 years I studied, you needed to have a dictionary. I literally bought a dictionary for that. But we also had this Lingui, was an app we used to translate. I used that. I constantly was studying. I would take my kids to kindergarten and run to catch the train. And sometimes that when I catch the train, I feel as if my heart is going to come out of my chest because of how I was breathing. I was panting. But I did that for 3 years. And within a semester, I got so busy. I got so busy with kids and everything. And I forgot to register for examinations. That's how I lost a semester. I cried my eyes out. I cried until I could cry no more. I thought that how can I tell these people that I forgot without telling them I forgot? So that was challenging for me. I did that, and I was constantly in connection or constantly going to our regional centrum. That's how it's called, a regional center where you meet some lecturers there, you go for classes, you study. I had a study group. Sometimes they'll come home to me, sometimes I'll go to them. And then what this is important to my tech journey, right? So you have to understand the resilience, understand that I'm someone. Quitting was not an option. Failure, yes, but failure is first attempt in learning. FAIL, first attempt in learning. So failure never stopped me. I failed several times. So failure was just part of the journey. Failure is part of success. If you haven't failed before, good for you. But you sometimes I want to fail because when I fail, I pay more attention to my mistakes. What did I do wrong? How can I do it better? So that's how I started building resilience from that point on. I worked so hard. For my master thesis, there was a program, it's called LaTeX. LaTeX is called, it's pronounced LaTeX, but it's spelled LATEX. My professor told me that LaTeX is recommended because my topic, my master thesis um, was taxing mergers and acquisitions. So a lot of numbers, and I love numbers. Taxing mergers and acquisitions. So that's how I studied so hard, graduated. I was the valedictorian of my class. Now, after the masters, what happens? After the masters, I started looking for a job. It took me 9 months to get a job, 9 whole months to get a job. After I had the job, what happened? I had a job at the bank because, yeah, it actually suited my background. At the bank, what did I do? I did like monotonous things, kept doing check-ins, doing standard procedures. But those standard procedures, they were fun at the moment, they are no longer fun. I felt as if in that you need to be creative, you need to do something. But again, there was this thing in me that always asked me that when I log into a computer, right, and I search for something, what happens behind the scenes? What's the magic that happens for my input in the URL to be transmitted and brought back to me as a response? That's something that I always fantasized over. Now, that was 2019 to 2020. I was in the banking job. Later on, COVID hit. And when COVID hit, what happened? When COVID hit, most of us decided to, not most of us, there was like home office and everything. I had trouble even understanding what a token was, right? Because when you're doing home office, you need to use a VPN to log into the system. To log into the system. How do I log into a system? What a token? I need to Google so many things. That's bear with me. 2020, I knew nothing about tech. How do I log into a system? What's a token? What are all of these things? So I logged in. I found that home office was really comfortable and nice. I had to still go to the office, do some other things. And my contract came to an end. Before the contract came to an end, I had like, bear with me in this journey because there are little um, drops that I'm leaving, crumbs. The crumbs always know success leaves clues. That's something I learned and I'm still learning. Success leaves clues. What happened when my contract was coming to an end? There was a program that the bank organized, which was climate change. How do we slow down climate change? In my mind, I said, oh, yeah, planting trees, all of these things, they're good. They're really recommended. But as humans, we mostly value what we can see and what we can measure. So my idea was to create an app. And this app, your activities will be tracked. So they compare your activities and how much is equivalent to the carbon dioxide exposure, or what's the right word for it? So to measure it, of it, how much damage have you impacted on Earth by all of these activities, and how can you make that better? That was my idea, and which means that we needed to create an app. And the process of creating the app, my idea was one of 77 ideas, I think, and I was one of the best three ideas. And we went further to the prototype to see how can we prototype this, how can we make this a reality. My brain clicked. All what they were doing, okay, an app. How will an app look like? With an app, we will need a user interface. We'll need to connect it. We'll need all of this, server side, customer side, all of this. My heart, I was constantly jubilating. My heart, I knew that this is where I belonged. But how do I get there? I was still scared of tech. I was scared of coding. I just imagine a black screen with so many numbers here and there. And I said, oh my God, Inda, what's going to happen to you? How do I get there? Have you ever realized that you want to be somewhere? Just telepathically, just carry me and put me there. I don't want the work. Just carry me and put me there. Sometimes I felt like that. But I said, I want to go there, but I don't know. What does it take to get there? Well, our our solution didn't win because the judges, which was the president of KIV, KFA is the banking group. She said we don't have the technological know-how to measure carbon dioxide, to measure the how much a kilo weighs or something. There was an explanation that shows that the idea is good, but we're not there yet. So I cried. I cried. I got home that night. I still have the Zect, a whiskey wine that was given. It's still in a box somewhere. I cried until my head was aching. My head was I had a very large head. I was crying. I said, "Oh Lord, my contract is ending. This app that I wanted. Now they haven't taken my proposal." I, Deep within me, right? I wanted to just secure a longer time at the bank because I knew that if my idea is being validated, it means that they'll retain me at the bank and my contract will be extended. But that didn't happen. I cried for two things. I've missed on the experience and I'm jobless. So looking for another job in the bank wasn't in for me. I said, okay, Inda, what can you do now that will give you an experience of something in the tech world, right? I wanted to know more about tech, how to build a website, or to be close to someone that knows how to build a website. The universe is here to serve you. You have to be brave enough to dream big. Let your dreams be so big that it scares you. So I knew that, right? I knew that I would be somewhere in a tech field before, later on, but I don't know how I'll get there. DevOps engineer and cloud computing was still very far from my mind. No, bear this. I did not know what cloud computing was. 2020, 2021. So what did I do? I said, okay, let me ahead of tech sales, right? Tech sales. What's tech sales? Tech sales, like it's a sales representative that I'm like the front end. I'm the person that tells the customers, mostly the CTOs, the CEOs. I explain a solution to them. Oh, see, this company is like that. We build on Typo 3. Our website is Typo 3. Our e-commerce, we use Magento. We use Spotify, Shopify, all of those, not Spotify, but Shopify. We use Shopify and all of this. So this, it was a nice to have because it brought me again to familiarity, right? I was familiar with that. I said, okay, I can do tech sales. I love talking. I can talk a good talk, right? So I went for the training, a 6 weeks training. Thanks to Pepo. He's really great. Anyone who wants to come to tech sales, Pepo back on LinkedIn, he's really awesome. He trained me. He was with me all along. And he got me my first job at Ibexa. So at Ibexa, what was I? I was a sales representative. So, which means that they trained me, right? They told me the solution. They told me how the content in the CMS, the content management system. They told me about the DXP and all of, and also verse with their services again. But all what I was doing was telling customers that, oh, this is what we do. We use the programming language was Symfony, right? And I was like, yeah, my mind was more in the back end than my present job. I was like, oh, how does it work? The symphony, how they build the website. Then my mind, I said, in that comeback, your job is to be in sales, tech sales. So I was doing the tech sales from 2021 to sometime in 2022. But within the job, I got in contact with the beloved Alphonse. Alphonse is the CEO of Cloud Heroes Africa, and I got that through Solange's chair. Hi, Solange. Solange is also doing an amazing job here in this space. So Alphonse had this dream, right, for free cloud computing knowledge. And AWS also gave 6,000 vouchers for people in the sub-Saharan Africa to learn tech, a free voucher to learn the basics. I was like, okay, then I came in with all force because when I want something, I'm coming for it. When I want something, you should be like that. Don't do anything haphazardly. No, if you want it, go for it. Don't do it and stop. Go for it. If you fail, What else? Get up, dust yourself, and continue the journey. As long as there's life in your system, you can do anything. You can. Solange says it all. You can be anything you want to be. I'm saying that you need to find out who you are first to be whatever you want to be. Because some people are just followers. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. Lead your life. Lead your life. Be purposeful and be intentional. We shall come to that later on. So I was already being purposeful and intentional without knowing it, right? But I did not have what I did not have was a mentor. But I did not know at that point that I needed a mentor because my mentor was my family, my elder sisters, especially in the college in the United States. My parents, my mom always believed me. My dad would tell me that Inda, get information, information, and more information. So that's like the foundation. I'm blessed to have had that foundation to know that I'll need to do anything. You can do it. You watching can do it. Whatever it is, if you're scared to do it, DM me and we shall make a plan on how you can do it. So back off now to Cloud Heroes Africa, how I got in contact with it. I was so forceful and pushful that I became I was the board. I'm still a board member. I'm one of the founding board members, but it's all spearheaded by Alphonse, our able five. Also, other members will have Chris Fernando, who is doing an awesome job teaching the students. And what did I do? How did I learn into tech? I might be deviating, but you need to know all of these little stories. So you should relate them to your own story. I didn't just leave tech, economics, and jump into tech. No, you have to pay attention to details. Pay attention to your sixth sense. Never say never. Never say I can't do it. Stop. Your words are as important. Your words come to reality. Words are powerful. So watch out the words you use for yourself. Never use a negative word on yourself. Because I never did. I'll tell you, I've cried several times. I've failed several times. Oh my gosh, my tears. If they could measure my tears, right? I think, if I'm not exaggerating, a liter or 2 liters. Yeah. My tears would be that. But whenever I cried, I was fueled. Whenever I cried, it was like, something activated in me. So let's go back to Cloud Heroes Africa. It was founded in 2021 and I joined later on. I was like, yes, let's do this. I was in for every meeting. Being in there, having my pen and paper. Why? Your why must be big enough. What is your why? Then, who is our teacher? Okay, now I know that I want to be in tech. I was like confused. Should I be in tech? No, should I do cloud computing and become a solutions architect, or should I go to Salesforce? Because Solange is like a senior person in Salesforce. So we had this conversation. I said, so babes, what should I do? She said, well, Alphonse is a good person and he's in the best position. You are good either way. If you want Salesforce, you got me. If you want to go to AWS and learn cloud computing, Alphonse is there. I said, okay, let's do this. I went for solutions architect. What does that mean? A solutions architect is supposed to understand this, the pain point, understand the pain points of an organization and provide a solution based on cloud technologies to say, okay, what's your problem again? Is it that your website is frequently going down? Have you thought of scaling? Because maybe it's like there's so many people there's so many people online. Or is it that you are not in close proximity with your customers? Do you need a cloud front? So all of those. So you needed to be versed with all of the AWS services to be able to give them better advice. It's like a consultant, but actually consulting for AWS solutions. So I needed to learn cloud computing. You needed to see me. I'll say, okay, Inda, what is cloud computing? I will read it. Cloud computing is providing services over the internet in virtual machines. Okay, I've understood it. Again, Inda, what's cloud computing? What's a virtual machine? All of those. I learned them not more than 5 years ago. Understand that. And now I'm a cloud platform engineer and I've been in this field for over 3 years. Understand that. And I've come wide, I've come far. In relation to my story, people are there to have their own stories, but I'm telling you that don't limit yourself, right? So I started by learning, doing the AWS practitioner, doing the 6 hour course, understanding all the 6 layers, understanding no all the 6 pillars, right? Understanding scalability, understanding cost efficiency, understanding what are all the pillars. I can't tell you now at the top of my mind, but I, I understood those. Excuse me, please. And I did not have a role model. We were all at the same level. I always tell myself that I wish I had in that 5 years ago, right? Myself 5 years in the future, but I did not have that. So I was my everything. I said, my God was my everything. So I was like looking deep into me and my peers, and also the people we invited to come and speak for us at Cloud Heroes Africa. And bear in mind, if you want to learn cloud computing for free, Cloud Heroes Africa is the way to go. They're launching, or we are launching a start of a free session on the 28th of February next week at 6 p.m. You learn for free in a community. There are other ways to learn on paid platforms. So back to my topic. I started learning. I watched a video, rewatched a video. I had difficulties understanding a virtual machine, what a hypervisor was, how a computer works, how a computer operates. But never did I think of coding. I did not think of coding. What should I code? I was just be there to give advice on a solution. But again, as I started learning, I realized that, oh, in that, it's good to understand also how the coding world works, to understand Linux, to understand all of the problems that a customer can face. How do you interact in the back end with some people? It might sound high level now, but I bet you if you put your mind to it, you will do it. Put your mind to it and you will do it in less than a year. Just put your mind to it. Now we have AI, we have all of those. We have like simplified. Sometimes people don't even have vibe coding. But again, vibe coding saves time, but it's also good to understand what happens behind the scenes. Don't just depend on all of these ready-made solutions. It's good to always get your hands dirty and understand what happens behind the scenes. All right, now I started by learning the basics. And my mistake was I decided to skip the solutions, the practitioner, and go for the AWS solutions associate, right? I wrote the exam the first time. I learned a lot. I was like here day and night learning like a crazy woman. But you need to be crazy. Let me tell you, if somebody says you're crazy, say yes. Because you need to think differently. If you want to be normal, you have an average life. You have to be go to the unknown. Go to the unknown. Think out of yourself. Because you need to push past the boundary, break the barriers. So I wrote the exams and I failed. I said, okay, Inda, why did you fail? I knew I failed because it's guesswork, multiple choice. Can it be A, B, or C? I still had that in me, right? The multiple choice thing. But I said, no, Inda, I need to understand. You need to understand this solution. So I went again and I started writing down, jotting down everything I thought I knew, but I did not know. I wiped out everything from my brain and started from zero. I said, okay, now what would be a solution to this? I said, well, Inda, try again. I tried, I wrote the exams, and I failed. I told you that failure never stops me, right? It did not stop me. What did I do again? I said, okay, Inda, maybe let's teach somebody. Maybe you're not understanding something right? Let's teach somebody. And I said, okay. So I grabbed my younger brother, Fabrice. He has, he's an accountant. He knew nothing about cloud computing, nothing about AWS. So I said, okay, I'm going to teach you, okay? I taught him everything and he understood. Oh, lo and behold, he went and wrote the exams and he passed. I say, God forbid, what's happening to you in there? So sometimes we need that. We need someone to mirror ourselves. Because he mirrored me because he passed based on my knowledge that I taught him. And I taught him based on something that I just read. And I explained to him. So I went and wrote the exams and I passed on my third try. I was successful. I was so happy. I knelt down and I praised God. I was so happy. No, each of these things shows me that there is more to me. There's more to you in that. There's more to you that you think you know. So this now was 2022. Then I passed the exam. So it took some months. Can you to go back and forth, to go back to the basics. Never assume you know. Go back to the basics. Build your foundation to be on a rock. Have a solid foundation. Don't be in a haste. Have a solid foundation in what you want to do. If you get up today and say that you want to be a farmer, don't go and look for land. No, understand soil, understand the seasons. So, whatever you want to do, get the foundation, the basics, what is required to be successful in that path. I passed that exam and I said, okay, Inda, what next? What next? What do you do? How do you go forward? Do you want to look for a job? Now, there was the thing that when you pass certification, is to look for a job, right? No. When you pass, you get experience, hands-on experience. So now I said, okay, let me build a website. I thought I would just go to the console and build a website. No, I needed Linux knowledge. So I said, okay, what's Linux? Let's go back to the basics. So I went back to Linux and I bought the Linux course from Udemy. I bought the course. I started again. I said, okay, what does it mean? What do I need? Infrastructure as code, Terraform. I went to the internet, I researched how can I be better? I don't want to be average. How can I be above? I said, okay, DevOps engineering was something that was also like at the point where people are saying that, oh yeah, DevOps engineer, you can work remotely. That was the thing. I wanted to work remotely, but I did not mind being at the office as well. I wanted to work remotely. If anyone has a question, I can't really see those that are online. So I don't know. This is my first live session. So I hope I'm doing things right there. Yeah. So I started learning it by myself. I had no teacher. I was my teacher. I bought the courses and there was no AI. So if I don't understand something, I will go again and I will look. I'll open my eyes. I say, okay, A plus B is equals to AB or C. What is it? And why is it? So I was always questioning every decision. I bought the course, Linux, I did the course, I bought Python. I said, okay, one must know one programming language. I was excited. I said, oh, I'm a programmer. I can do this. So I said, let me go for Python. And bet you have to start programming, start with Python. It's pretty cool. I had a very good course. I bought a course that I was so in love with it, understood everything. It was so interactive. So I learned Python. I learned to I felt like a ninja just like on my computer, right? Doing this like that, and I'll see this. You do like that, you look at the back, you do at the back, and then you see your result. It's really interesting. It's not rocket science. I thought it was, but it is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You can do it. It's not rocket science. So I did the Python course. I was so happy with it. I finished. I even built a project. I think it was something like a voting something. I cannot remember, but it's there on LinkedIn. And I said, okay, Inda, what next? Let's build a project. I said, if somebody hires you, what are you going to do for the person? Yeah. Now my economics brain kicked in. If they hire you today, what are you going to do for the company? Are you going to help them save cost? Or are you going to help the team be a team builder? You should bring something to the table. What are you bringing? And if they want to fire you, what would they lose? So, what are you bringing to the table? How will you solve their problem? You understand a solution so well that you know how to manipulate it. Or you can learn on the job. I did learn on the job. I learned on the job. And there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty. I had doubts. I had fear. I asked myself, am I too late? Am I too old? Foolish questions, right? Because none of those questions are valid today. You're not late for anything. You're right on time. Even if you start next year and this time you want to use it for something else, you're still on time. But whatever you do, keep moving. Whatever you're doing, keep moving. Now, so I learned all of this. So I could build a website. I could build a website. I built a static website and I put my CV in it. And the joy of seeing something, it took me a lot of time. Sometimes I will say that, enter. And I say, oh my God, Inda, you have built a website. You're a genius. Everyone come here. I'm a genius. I built a website, a static website. So, and the joy that it gives you, it boosts your confidence. It makes you feel like you can do anything. If you feel as if they put you in a plane, you're going to pilot that plane. Please don't. I don't know who will send me beside a plane even. So it's an empowering feeling. And I'll feel it anytime, 10 times over than go back to mediocrity. I want to be known for something. Something big. Because know that God put me here for a reason. My gifts. There's this talent story, right? I'm going to take you in different directions. There's a talent story that when this rich man was traveling, he gave talents to his workers, right? To one he gave five, to one he gave three, and to one he gave one. The one that had five, he multiplied it. The one that had three multiplied. The one that had one, he went and buried it. And when the boss came back, he said, "Okay, what do you do with the talents?" Some said, "Oh, master, you gave me five, I've multiplied it. Master, you gave me three, I've multiplied it." The one said, "Master, you gave me one, I went and buried it, and this is your one back. So take your talent." Talent are our gifts. So do you have to go and tell God that, oh, I did nothing for my life? Oh no, hey God, I'm good. God, I just lived. Oh, I lived. I was on earth. I did nothing. Nobody knew me. So I'm just neutral. Nobody knew me. What should they write on your gravestone? What do you want to be there? Think deep. Don't be afraid of whatever you think you want to be there. Dream big. Don't be afraid. What's going to happen? What's the worst that can happen? You fail and then you get up and try again. So now back to my story. I learned how to build a website, learn how to solve a problem, learn as I'll write down scenarios. Oh, what if this company wants to reduce cost? Now I put on my econometrics hat. I put it on. I said, what if a company wants to reduce cost? What should they do? I said, okay, if to reduce cost, you have to first analyze. And to analyze, you need monitoring, right? To monitor your activities. I say, oh, Mr. I need to go to a dashboard, CloudWatch, and look at the dashboard. What's happening there? What's happening? So I need to be good at monitoring. You monitor something, say, oh, you have five EC2 instances in this region, but they're underutilized. So maybe you like put two off or have an auto scale that in the night it scales down. Within the day, on working days, it scales up. That's a good thing. You have helped the company. We need to understand now how to build a system. How do you build an auto scaling system? How do you auto scale automatically? Set it up. That's a good thing. If you can do that, now you have to understand the other solutions. What if they want more customers? How do you create marketing for them? How do you show off that they're solutions? Well, you have to have enough success stories to show the public that you are doing well, and that's the marketing team now. So make sure that you're doing a good job. You analyze the efficiency of the company, how efficient they are, all of those. Okay, I'm just telling you areas of which you can be good at to know that I'll bring value in this. I'll bring value because I know this. I'll bring value because I've practiced this. If you have certifications, It's a good to have, but it's not going to do the job. So understand the solution. So that was my mindset. My mindset was, how can I understand and how can I bring value? In the beginning, right, I did not trust myself to do the heavy lifting. So what did I do? I made sure that I was told the senior colleagues that, please help me. What do I do? How do I start? And I use my human skills. My human skills is like I saw people, I first see them and I understand them and let them be valued. And say, okay, how can I help? Where do you think I can help? Should I just write documentations, of which I'm good at, to document stuff, or to make things simpler? That's how you start. Be a good human being, or a better one. So how do you start? Now, I've told you how I wanted to be a DevOps engineer. I studied all of those. In a later video, I'll explain what DevOps engineering is and how to get into it, because I did that from A to Z. I was a DevOps engineer before. Each company differs in the way that they describe what DevOps is. DevOps is a cultural thing, so we shall talk about DevOps later on. I'm, I'm now a cloud platform engineer, and cloud platform engineer means you just provide the platform infrastructure as code, so to say. But I work in a very complex environment where I cannot really like explain the service or the job description to you. It varies as well. So this video today is the beginning to tell you my mindset, to tell you my failures, to tell you where I was before and where I am on now, moving to something else. Because we're always moving to something new. You're always, you should have something new along the way. Excuse me, excuse me. And for those that are waiting to know everything before you start, you will never know everything. There's some lessons that you have to learn on the job. You won't learn it in the classroom. You learn it on the field. I have a colleague, Yan. Yan is awesome. The guy is like very smart. So one day I went to him and I said, "Oh Yan, you're so smart and you do this. How can I learn? How can I know these things?" He said, "Inda, you don't have to know what the solution is. You just have to know where to find it." So when everything happens, you go to the internet and say that, how can I solve this problem? Now it's even easier because of AI. It's easier now. So don't wait to know everything. Just understand the structure. Understand what do you want. That's it. The company will have hiring thing to have like a job description and say you should know this, you should know that. There's a reason why. Now, if they start, you have to understand Python. You say, why? What does Python do? So you have to understand Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes and what does it do? What it does is important. Then it's okay. If it's important, it means that it will help save this and save that. How do I fit into that? How do I come into the picture then? So always like ask yourself the question, reflect it to yourself. How does this fit it? How do I fit there? What's my value? How do I go there to add value to them? Not to have a fancy job. A fancy job is good, right? To have a fancy title, it makes you feel good, but it won't keep you, it won't sustain you. It wouldn't sustain you. And in everything you do, let fear not be a factor. Don't be afraid. Be constantly adding value, be constantly asking yourself questions. What do I want? Who am I? Because I've asked that question. I asked the question to myself last week. It might sound weird to you, but I still keep asking myself the question, who are you in there? What are you doing now? Why are you doing it? And how are you going to do it? The how comes with the why. If you know the why, your why should be big enough. And if your why doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Because up to now, when I ask my family that, oh, who do you same as Jesus, right? Jesus will say that, who do people say I no, please I beg, I'm not comparing myself to him. Mm-mm. I'm just like using him as an example. So who do people say you are? Jesus asked Peter that, who do people say I am? So ask your people, who am I? Who do people say I am? That's how you take, if you're not sure of yourself, that's how you take to understand who you are. And when they tell you, is that who you want to be? You can change that. Is that who you want to be? Is that all you want to be? Who do you admire? I admire so many people and I'm working towards meeting them. Some people admire me and I'm glad they do, but I really want to know why they admire me. And they've told me why they admire me. And you don't just come like that. No. It came with work, a lot of hard work and tears. And you need to believe in something bigger than yourself. Excuse me. You need to believe in something bigger than yourself. Have a belief system. What do you believe? Do you believe it because your parents told you? Do you believe it because your environment said that? Or do you believe it because that's what God said you are? We women, like the women will have sixth senses, right? Our sixth senses are so powerful. And sometimes we are in such a messy environment, and because we are so empathetic, we tend to believe people over ourselves. So that's a story for a different day. And all of those played a big role in my life. I'm just saying that I became how I became a cloud platform engineer. 5 years ago, I wasn't that. 5 years ago, I did not know anything about cloud computing. 5 years ago, I did not know how a computer operates. I did not know. I just knew that I would just go there and do something and the end have my results. I'm good with it. But later I said, why am I good with this? I want more. I want more. But I never knew what more was. What is more? I wanted more. And more landed me here. And the journey to more is painful but sweet. You have little wins, and those little wins they fuel you up. If you don't start, you're going to be overwhelmed by fear. Fear is going to eat away your dreams. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let fear happen to you. Be courageous. And what's courage? Courage is acting. Courage is when you're afraid because you want to do something that you haven't done before. Or something you don't trust yourself in doing, but you still do it anyway. And when you do it, you're courageous, and at the end, you have confidence. You gain confidence because confidence comes with practice. Confidence is not always waiting for you. So, oh, confidence, come here. Wait, it's the name of the person, though. So, I have confidence. I no, you need to earn it through action. So, what thing is so big for you today like that you think that you cannot become it? Because I could have well gone and looked for a different banking job or done the several sales thing for a long time and not take a risk on myself or a chance on myself. I was fired because I was mostly focusing more on cloud computing than on my job. I knew that I could find a different job. I had recruiters reaching out. I said, no, I don't want to have those sales. I remember when I was let go, I asked the woman that, so what should I do with my life? Yeah. I said, what should I do with my life? She told me that you will figure it out. I cried on the ride back home. I came home, my eyes were hurt, and I had to go and sleep because I was crying because I don't know what to do with my life. But again, I said, God, what should I do with my life? And there was a solution. I said, okay, Solange check came along, Alphonse came along. People are coming along, but you have to be alert and have a bigger goal to recognize them when they come. So, if you're someone who wants to transition into tech, right? You want to grow or you want to build confidence. I'm sharing my story here. I always share little wins. And if you see here on my bio, I created Cloud, no, Mentorship Matters Africa because I want more for our fellow Africans and professionals, young professionals. If you're an African in the diaspora and you think that you're just working to pay bills, 9 to 5, working to pay bills, join Mentorship Matters Africa and let's figure out what your gifts are, your identity. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? Are you intentional? When those deep thoughts come, do you just wave them away with a glass of wine or chocolate, or you watch a movie? Because those are simple things that I did. I've done it. I'm not saying it because I've not done it before. I did that. But at one point, I said, Inda, enough. I always call myself. I think I call my name more times than people do. Because I say, Inda, what are you doing? Talk to yourself. But if you think that talking to yourself is not enough, reach out and let's figure it out together. Intentional, purposeful living. So, where are you at your journey? Because now there's a lot of arts going around. Now AI has joined the mix. A lot of arts and advertisements. Do this, be that, be here, be there, be that, be many things. But what do you want to be? Are you already in tech? What questions do you have in the tech field? Are you just in tech learning and never going forward? That's another risk. I have people that have been in tech for years, doing project in, project out, but they're not moving forward. What's the problem? Do you know what it is? Let's figure it out together. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer your questions. But I'm all about purposeful living. Live for a purpose. Live for yourself. Like if anybody leaves you, you're happy with yourself. Don't be the dependent variable. Be the independent variable. That might come across as rude. Yes, please be rude. Be ruthless in your future. Be ruthlessly follow what you want with a fire in you. We all have that fire. And attract people that believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in humanity. I believe in anyone that wants more, because there's always more for you. There's always more for you. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that whatever it holds for me, I'm willing to follow. I keep challenging myself. Challenge yourself. What is it that you've been afraid of doing? What is it that you need clarity over? What have you been doing that is not producing results? What have you been scared to do? What is it? Find out that thing. Sometimes you don't even know. It's very okay not to know, because I've been in the place of not knowing. And when we don't know, you can meditate over it. There are many tricks. I have a lot of worksheets that I use for myself and for the mentees. Fill those up. And now we have AI that will help you analyze them in a strategic manner. Don't just put it in AI that analyzes. No, structure, customize your AI. I also provide a course, customize. So everyone watching me this week, right? I see there's 6 people watching me. Thank you for all those watching. All of you watching. When you finish this session, write it down. Write your name and say, let's say it's your Esther. I don't know if an Esther is watching. Say, who is Esther? Who are Esther's friends? And what are those friends in your life doing? Because they also play a role. It's a saying that if you're hanging around 6 fools, you are the seventh. If you're hanging around millionaires, you are the seventh millionaire. Excuse me for that. So, what do you want to do in your life? So, I'm happy you all joined me today. I can speak for a long time. I just want you all to understand my background story, how I became a DevOps engineer. And again, I did freelancing. Sorry, let me go back again to how I got my first job. It's important to you to know how I got my first job. Now, let's do a little bit of, I think I'll take 5 minutes for this. When I was doing the DevOps and the rest, studying and everything, we're so inclined to AWS that when the program of AWS Community Builders program came up, we applied. And we applied because we're cloud, it's a community, we're building up a community, we're community builders through Cloud Heroes Africa. And we're taken into the program. And that catapulted, right? That took the career further. Or not the career, self-confidence, exposure. I was more exposed now. And if I didn't go into tech or decide to go there, I wouldn't have become an AWS community builder. But because when you make a decision, there are other low hanging fruits or benefits that are accrued to it. So, whatever you do, there are other things, benefits that come along. And becoming an AWS community builder came with a lot of perks. I think I'll create another session based on that alone. I started doing freelancing, right? Just the mini thing, mini freelancing. You say, oh, they're looking for people that will help monitor a machine. We'll say, yes, we can do that. They'll give us access. I am access. We'll monitor it and do all of this. And then all of a sudden, this exposure sent a recruiter into my DM. And he asked if I want to apply for a job at LTL. But if I'm interested, I say, yes, I'm interested. And he sent my CV. I had a meeting with one, excuse me, a very beautiful human being at LTL. And the interview was amazing because I was myself. I was myself. I understood what the company wanted. I understood what I could do. And I understood that I need to learn more than what I already know. And I told them that this is what I'll bring to the table. And this is what I'm willing to learn. I know that you are in for this, you're in for that. I fit here, I fit there. These are your goals. I'm going to help in this way. Sell yourself. And you have to know yourself to sell yourself well. So we're almost running out of time. And I still have a lot to tell you all. I hope this gives you an overview of who I am, what I do, and where I'm heading towards. Again, my name is Inda. I'm the founder of Mentorship Matters Africa because I needed a mentor. I didn't have that. I had myself and my other co-learners, my co-learners. And I want to save you the headache or the time. I want to like cut time short, save you time so you arrive at your goals easier because I've been there, done that. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for taking the time. If you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and remain blessed by the best. Bye.